All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday speaker series. We have with us Jay Salters, who's going to speak about cybersecurity networking. And this is actually the third installment. The next installment will be November the 3rd, 2022. Jay, the floor is now yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I can. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and those who are watching this virtually. We're going to go over some really good resources. If you are watching this virtually, I will kind of give you some heads up. There is a program that you would want to take advantage of because there is a time frame that it's available. And so I'll talk a little bit about that program that's going to help you get some more upskilling opportunities, reskilling, or pivoting within your career, what it is that you want to do within the cyber community or possibly IT. So really important to note that. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's get started. So I'm Jay. I've been in the cyber, well, I'm a privileged worker officer, so I've been doing things related like this since 2003. So it's been a long time for me. I enjoy helping people understand components and aspects of cyber. I try to stay up with the times when it comes to cyber technologies and developments. My main interest is cloud computing. So if you hear me talk a lot about that, that's because I'm very much interested in that. But I focus on being able to help people find resources related to getting into the cyber community. There's a lot of demand, heavy demand. And so there's just a lot of resources that you can utilize, free resources that you can utilize. You don't have to pay any money to be able to take advantage of and getting these doors open for you. That way you can land a job opportunity in cyber. So some of the stuff that we're going to talk about this webinar, I'm going to rehash some of the things that we've talked about and discussed during some of our previous webinars, but then also talk about really specifically, how do you kind of line yourself up to get a job in cyber? And then talk about, the networking, looking at opportunities, what you should be doing for your resume. It's crucial that you understand all these components because they really, really, really do matter at the end. So making sure that, you're planning and executing appropriately for the type of opportunity that you're looking for, and you're finding out how to do your own research and development as far as like what opportunities are available for you, and then coming up with a plan of success to kind of lay down that road. I'll go down that road. And then how to improve your resume. I got some real good tidbits on some resume things for your tool bag that you can utilize to help improve your resume, to help you kind of land an opportunity. And then obviously interview skills, LinkedIn optimization, stuff that we typically cover. So getting a job in tech, like I said, and we've talked about this in other series, but increasing skill, networking, and job preparation, those are the key things. Understand that you invest in you. If you spend 8 hours a day working for an organization, a company, what have you, you should be at least spending 2 hours a day on your personal development so that you can grow, craft, and develop your own skill sets, especially if it's a different industry from which you have understanding of. Earning certifications, getting hands-on training, building your network. It's extremely important. A lot of what I do is connect with folks. A lot of the contacts I have and the people that I've spoken to is just people that we've shared our common interests, or trying to understand problem set, or identifying someone has this type of skill set, and I was very much interested in learning more about that. And it's really just having a conversation and connecting with folks. It's really important because you never know where your next opportunity comes from. And I've got a lot of opportunities out of my network. Attending events, finding mentors, that's key. Finding mentors, find a mentor. Mentors come in all shapes and sizes as far as like what they provide and they offer. So you don't necessarily have to have just one mentor, have multiple mentors that can kind of help guide you along the way, because like I said, there's a lot of opportunities. And job preparation, level up your LinkedIn. If you do not have a LinkedIn, please get one, because like I said, a lot of opportunities come through LinkedIn. You'll see job opportunities, see job postings, a lot of just benefits. And I'll probably cover down on some of those when we get into a little bit more of how to utilize it. And then I'll touch base with that. Resume, cover letter, we can go into that. Informational interviews and hiring events, I'll cover that, and I'll add some more benefit to that on how best to do that. So starting off with the programs, these are programs that are beneficial to you, can help you get your experience up, help you understand or provide some more clarity in the world of cyber security and how to get jobs in cybersecurity. So Cybersecurity Workforce Alliance is a program, it's 12 weeks. They have two programs actually. One is 12 weeks, the other one is 6 weeks long. You do not have to, it's sponsored by the Department of Labor, ran by Clark University. And the program, the 6-week program, helps you understand different components of cybersecurity. They go through articles, videos, conversations, talks, and then also the mentors that come through to kind of talk about their experience from their role. They're all in cyber roles. And so being able to touch base with folks, that is extremely important. Some of the focus areas that they have are information security officer, compliance analysis, behavior analysis, IT risk analysis, and cyber threat analysis. They also go into some fraud, espionage, and intellectual property theft. And with that, like I said, you'll have the 6-week program, which is really self-paced. You do that on your own time. You can spend how much time you want on that as you want, or how little. Typically, I think you have to do like at least 2 hours or hour a week. And then you can do the 12-week program, which is 2 hours a week on a given day. And you'll have mentors guide you, and you work with a cohort to actually complete cyber problems. And so it's really unique because it provides you with a unique perspective of being able to speak to folks, get a good understanding of what you don't know, and tap into, you know, a network of industry professionals that you can ask questions to. What type of roles are available? What are the best approaches for me to kind of get into a role? What are some of the things I need to do in order to make sure that, you know, my resume helps stand out? If I don't have cyber experience, how can I get it? What type of opportunities should I look into? And then all those things are valuable, and all that can help you out, especially when you're speaking to someone with a background in it. So another great program, free Microsoft certifications. It officially kicks off in 6 days, and it will end November 9th. And you can earn all of these certifications. So you can get security operation analyst, DevOps engineer, Azure solution architect, team voice engineer, Azure data scientist, team administration, the Power Platform app makers, and then Dynamics 365 consultants. All this is free. The training is provided. You complete the training, and then once you complete the training, you can get a voucher emailed to you. Take advantage of the voucher, and then use that to earn these certifications. It's important that you do this because, like I said, you want to focus on your self-development. Now, you may not want a job with Microsoft, but being exposed to some of this can help you have a better understanding of what type of roles you may be interested in, what type of roles are beneficial or you think is the ideal route that you want to go. There are 8 different avenues that you can go here, so you can get a good understanding of what it would be like to do some of these jobs out in the real world or working for an organization like Microsoft. They like to provide that foundation to help people get a little bit more aware in cybersecurity. It's important to understand that, and then being able to apply yourself accordingly to these opportunities. But it's free. Like I said, you get the voucher. You can knock out all of them if you can. But like I said, you have from October 12th to November 9th, a month. They usually call it the Microsoft Cloud Challenge or Microsoft Skills Challenge. So about 30 days or so for you to complete this and be able to enroll into the program, get your vouchers, add that to your LinkedIn, add that to your credit league. That way, when you are looking for gainful employment, even if you do not have a background or experience in some of this, it's still helpful because it shows you have a propensity to learn, a propensity to kind of be a lifelong learner. And so when you talk to an employer, you can just be straight up like, I don't necessarily, I don't have any experience in this, but I'm very much interested in this. And these are things I've done. An employer is always willing to hear someone that's eager to learn, eager to be that want to be a part of the team and provide, added value. And this is a good way of doing it. Cisco Networking Academy, kind of similar to the Microsoft program that we just talked about. They help you get with tech savvy professionals, help you understand how to learn about defending against attacks. Because a lot of what you do in cyber is just understanding the methods, understanding the tactics and the procedures, the things that you kind of need to know about the community and threats at large. There's always going to be some type of cyber breach, attack, you can guarantee that. And so how do you defend a network? How do you identify a threat? What are the type of roles that, help out or assist with that? And in here, you'll see the cyber security pathway prepares you for entry-level cybersecurity position, right? And so you can either be a cybersecurity technician, junior security analyst, or a tier 1 desk support role. And those are great positions to start because the conversations you will have, learn, or hear about will help provide that foundation. Now, when you start getting some experience of being there for a while, and then you got some certs on top of that, that just makes you much more of a valuable person to that company or other companies as well. And so that's how you can kind of develop your direction and what you want to do and how you want to do it. And like I said, it's free, and you can see all of these certifications here listed here on the side. Network basics, we have network defense, cybersecurity essentials, cyber threat management, network security, Python essentials 1 and 2, cybersecurity pathways. So you can take advantage of these opportunities right now. Look, I just sent 2 programs, a Microsoft program, and you figure out which one, what you want to do with that. And then you have now the Cisco program to kind of help, continue to pad your level of knowledge and help you be more proficient in understanding. Cyber is ever changing, nothing ever stays the same. And the good thing about that is, as long as you're learning, you're always in the know of what's going on, right? And so you're expected when you get an employment job, like if you have a security, if you have a certification across the board, is going to be at a certain level. They understand that you have a fundamental knowledge, right? But typically that certification may not necessarily translate into the role that you're doing for that company. It may be what you need to get in the door, but what they're doing to teach you something different from that certification. So having these different badges and taking advantage of these programs can help, make you well-rounded. And so that when you do apply yourself to these opportunities, you are a standout candidate. Amazon Web Service. So same thing, they have badge programs, it's all free, data migration, data protection and disaster recovery. You have storage, block storage, file storage, objection, and you have storage core. These programs really focus on helping you understand everything about cloud from the AWS perspective. And I've seen people who've knocked out like the majority of AWS opportunities in cloud computing, and then they've been getting a job at like Google, or they got a job at Oracle, or Microsoft. So they do kind of somewhat cross over. You can look at the 3 types of roles related to it. So storage administration, storage engineers, developers, and sort of solution architects. And this is all free as well. You don't necessarily have to pay for anything. That's why I said, like, utilize these free resources to help pad your level of knowledge, identify what you want to do, what you enjoy doing, and then see if you can determine which way to go. Now, I know there's a lot of resources. I'm going to break down the best way to kind of go about this if you feel like, you just got a lot going on, but we'll talk about that. Empower is a great organization, is a nonprofit. We talked about this in some of the other presentations, but the reason I highlight this is because they actually provide you with free certification. It's a 16-week program, and they also have a workforce development program where their folks internally look for a job opportunity for you. So for everyone in the Baltimore area, there's one Empower that's in Baltimore that you connect with, go through their classes, take advantage of the opportunities, and then you'll get, your A+, your IT fundamentals, your Google IT support certificate, which is actually worth college credits. You get your IT journalist apprenticeship credentials, and then exposure to other things in leading technologies. You'll have mentorship, people coming in talking about different job opportunities, and they'll connect you with these mentors, right? Job placement assistance. And then they also give you like a free business suit or business dress I mean, that's the full package right there, right? So programs like this really do make a difference. So if you're really trying to get your feet wet, this is a good way of working for you. I know someone who utilized this program, and he didn't have a massive cybersecurity background. He kind of understood it, learned the fundamentals, went through this program, kind of honed his skills, and he ended up becoming the VP of Citibank, a local Citibank. And so that goes to show you using these programs can really help set you apart, really help you identify what opportunities are available and connect you with those opportunities. Increase skills with Cyber Corps. This is a program that offers you a free bachelor's, master's, or PhD, then gets you a job, possibly security clearance, depending on where you work. And it's connected to federal agencies. And so you can't go wrong there. You just have to be able to apply to these organizations. And there's a list of the ones that's in Baltimore or in the Maryland area. And then essentially you identify the degree. It has to be obviously a cyber related degree. You complete the program, and as you go through the program, you're hooked up with an opportunity for federal state employment. And so you're essentially, it's called scholarship for service. You will go to the school, earn your degree, and then you get a full ride for that. But then the service part is you working in the federal government or the state or local, and then giving back the time that essentially took you to earn your degree while you get paid. And it's not like you're getting entry level pay. You're actually getting paid pretty well as a government employee. So if you choose to stay down that route, or you want to go down that route, that's a perfect opportunity to do so. And you see here, like I said, MS, PhD education. They also have the associate's degree with Arundel Mills College. So it really just depends. And I would definitely say take advantage of something like this, because not a lot of people do. Not a lot of people know about it. And it's a great program. Fully funded. Okay, so path to successful. I just talked about a few programs. It might be overwhelming. Like, which one do I do? How do I do it? Here's the thing. You kind of want to understand what your end goal is, and like you want to think with the end in mind. And so based off of the resources we just talked about and all the different career fields, all the different badges, all the different roles, the thing that you want to do is you want to identify which one speaks best to you, right? And it may be hard to do that, to kind of figure out that. So you want to grasp the career field you wish to enter. Cyber is vast. It's not like someone says I'm in cybersecurity. There's no direct you're in cybersecurity. There's multiple different routes, avenues, even industries. Like you can be cybersecurity in the banking industry. You can be cybersecurity in just different industries. So just understanding that. And so one, you have to grasp the career field in which you wish to enter. If it's different from your current position, you should utilize resources that help you learn more about that career field, right? You don't want to be blind going in, not knowing what's there. And it might be hard, but if you connect yourself to the right people, right? And so a tool that I recommend is LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a lot of great resources and a lot of people that are advocates of either, opportunities and things of that nature. Actually, I'm going to switch over for a second to kind of get into some of what that would look like. Let me close this. All right. So everyone can see, I'm going to switch over to my LinkedIn so you guys can see what I'm talking about here in terms of how powerful LinkedIn is and then the things that you can do with it, right? And so on my LinkedIn account, we have jobs here, right? And so we can look in jobs and see, we can type in cybersecurity jobs, and it will tell me a list of different jobs that's available. And then you can kind of see what are some of these requirements for these jobs. Not a whole bunch came up on target. This is not, let me switch this up. So there we go. Okay, cybersecurity roles, and you see cybersecurity roles. You can scroll down and kind of see what requirements are there based off of the jobs, and these are the things you kind of want to have a good understanding with. And then they also say you talk to a recruiter, right? And so let's say that you are Maryland. Everyone's in Maryland, so we'll look to see what we have in Maryland. Maryland. And then let's say SOC analyst, right? Because SOC analyst is a pretty common job. So look at SOC roles, right? And so you'll have data discovery analyst level 3. It'll tell you what type of experience you have, minimum years, 18 experience. So this is a senior. They talk about singing. So they're talking about a couple of things and some certifications. But this is what you want to do, right? You want to start with the end in mind. If I was interested in being a SOC analyst, this is the type of role I'm like, okay, these are the things that I need to do. This is kind of what I need to kind of touch base on and how I should best touch base on. Right. But you can also look at other rooms, like, so you can look at a few of them. I think that was a tier 3. Which level is this? This is, doesn't say what tier. Bachelor's degree, 2 years of IT experience. So this is relatively like a tier 1 type of it's a tier 1 apply those. And then it has a pay range in here, so it lets you know 60,000 to 93,000, depending on what your background is. And if you have a pretty good background, 6 figures and Maryland. So you can kind of go through this and kind of get a good understanding of that, right? And you can also filter this to see what type of opportunities are there, so that if you just want a job that doesn't necessarily, it provides great opportunity, but you want to make sure it's not a job that everyone's applying for, you can come down here and set the standards on who, what type of job, what is it they're looking for, and how many people apply. So you're like, if I want a job that only has under 10 applicants, I can use this to help me find the jobs that only have under 10 applicants. So that's one thing, right? And so another aspect of this, right? And this is just what you can see with, I'm sorry, is my screen being shared? I just want to make sure that like they're.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is, Jay.
Okay, all right, okay, just want to. All right, and so like you see how I put this here, right? So let's just just not only in the search for the jobs, if you go back to LinkedIn, and this is just normal LinkedIn, like this is not the jobs anymore. Just waiting for it to come up. Let me see. Okay, so it's running a bit slow. All right, no, we don't want the jobs. We just want to go back to the profile. When this comes up, I'll just do it this way. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so it's back to the profile, right? And so what I want to do is, like, if I'm looking for a job, I would type in SOC analyst, right? And then I would say the word hiring, SOC analyst. And so what will come up is, now you can see all the people who are actually hiring SOC analysts, so I can connect directly with them. Now, before you do that, you want to make sure your profile is legit. You want to make sure that you have everything listed on your profile that needs to be there. It shows that you've taken some of the initiatives as far as the free stuff that we've talked about, because you don't want to just reach out to someone and not have anything to offer, right? Not to say that you don't have anything to offer, but you want to make sure that you do your due diligence and do care and understanding the role as best as possible. Because the minute that you click on something like this, or you're trying to reach out to these folks, they're going to see that you looked at their profile, and they're going to look at your profile to see if you match their criteria. And that's another way of getting the job, right? But this is how you can get a better understanding of what's available, what opportunities are available. And look, we have a bunch. I can keep on going through this, but direct hiring opportunities, and then so you can connect that way. I'm gonna switch back. All right. So yeah, connect with LinkedIn. You should probably see if you can connect with at least 2 to 3 people a week. And I know that may seem like a lot, it's not, but the way that you do that is you also incorporate events. So if there is a cyber event, look on Eventbrite, look on Facebook, look on the different social media platforms for anything related to either networking, cyber events. You connect with those organizations or those events, and then attend them. If they're free, then obviously that's what you want to do. And then see if you can see who's who, learn about what opportunities are available, go to hiring and events. All these things help you get a better understanding. During the day in life, I'm trying to have as many conversations as possible so you can kind of figure out what is out there, what opportunities are out there, and what's available. And they'll also let you know, like connect with folks, okay, how can I best showcase my skill set? What can I do to, make sure I meet the requirements for this role? Are there any certification requirements? Are there any degree requirements? What kind of recommended training would you recommend? Right. So if I'm not where I need to be, just talking to the people that are there will help me bridge that gap. And that's important. Once you determine the position you want to apply, make sure you search for the companies that provide that position, just like we did on LinkedIn. You saw me look through SOC analysts. And so I saw the companies that had that. And then I looked at specifically the job postings related to that. So I can see, okay, these are the things that I have. And the first one I picked up was actually a really senior SOC analyst, right? And so that lets me know the things I need to do as far as the CCNA Security Plus certification was listed there. So I know that, okay, I need to check the box with those eventually, but I'm going to look for a more junior certification, a junior job application, so I can incorporate that in my resume. And then in my LinkedIn, I want to take some of those keywords and make sure I have that in my LinkedIn and in my resume so that it fits really well. And then you develop your targeted resume, right? You want to make sure your resume is built off of a job, not just, everything. I want to be in cybersecurity. That, like I said, very vague, a lot of different roles in cybersecurity. Be more direct, identify what it is that you want to do. If you don't know what you want to do, just have more conversations with people, informational interviews, touch base with folks, get a good understanding of what's out there, what opportunities out there, and do that. And like I said, participate in monthly cyber networking events, touch base with folks, start developing your network. It's better to have your network and not need it than to need your network and not have it. So make sure that you knock that out and do that. All right. So how do you create a strong resume is important. And this is the reason why I wanted to list this in here, because a lot of things that we don't know, it works or doesn't work. So if you're not familiar, ATS is an applicant tracking system. These big companies that hire folks to get gainfully employed in their companies, you got to think about, they may have, I don't know, 100 employees or maybe have 1,000 employees. It's hard to keep track of that, right? And so they have an applicant tracking system, which allows the HR department to kind of refine what type of positions they have available, who meets those positions, right? The problem is, when it comes to your resume, you need to make sure that the majority of the keywords are in your resume are the same things that reflect the actual job. So let's say if you're applying for a project management job, but then you have a resume for like a welder and it has nothing in project management, then that ATS will never highlight your resume because it doesn't have the proper keywords. And so you want to make sure, that's why I said you want to go to LinkedIn, see what the posts are. If you're providing your resume to a particular company, you want to see, make sure that the words that they have on their resume is what, the words that they have on their posting is what's in your resume. Now, you don't want to copy everything verbatim, don't do that, but take some keywords out to make sure that you fit it in your resume. Some great pointers for writing a resume that will get past an applicant tracking system is examine the job post, just like I said. Find skills and tailor each resume specifically to the job post, that your desired job that you're looking to pull. Pulling keywords directly from those posts. Not everything, but pull some keywords. There is no one size fits all when it comes to doing your resume. There's different approaches to it. Just make sure that you kind of think it over. Do not copy and paste anything verbatim. You have to understand that if a hiring manager sees that's highlighted and they think copy and paste majority of the job post, then what will they think of you in your line of effort as far as applying to that job? One other thing to note, I'm not sure if I wrote it down here, but do not copy resume examples online because they're not ATS friendly. Meaning, if you see a resume that's designed really well, you download that, you put your information in there, and it has all these graphics. When you send it to an ATS system, because you have all those graphics, it's going to show your resume is blank, or may show it missed characters. That can definitely affect your opportunity to land a job. You want to make sure that the resume you submit is an applicant tracking system friendly resume. And typically you could do that with just writing a Word resume, a Word document. Don't add a whole bunch of graphics and things of that nature. But it's important to know that, because not a lot of people are aware, especially when you apply to jobs, if you have this really nice done up resume, and you're applying for jobs and it's not applicant friendly, it's not going to go through, and no one will read anything that's on there. So it's important to know. Do not use weak verbs. This website here can provide you with a list of verbs to use that can help you improve your resume. And so, like I said, there's a lot of resources on it. This is just a few. Create a document and refrain from using the generic templates, like I said, found on internet. Do not use those templates. They're not compatible. Blank pages may be a result of not getting pulled. Have no more than 2 pages. Now, if you're doing a federal resume, that's longer, that's different, that's a different process. But for private sector corporate, you want to make sure you don't have no more than 2 pages. Aim for 3 to 5 bullets. Show your accomplishments, show your contributions, show your impacts and your predispositions. You can take the AIR approach, which is action, impact, results. What actions you take, what's the impact that it has, and what the results were. That clearly helps anyone reading your resume understand the value that you provided to that organization. Ensure that your resume has a clear and consistent format with structure. So you want to make sure you spell check everything. Make sure you check you cross your T's and you dot your I's, check a couple of times, make sure you verify, get some other eyes on it, and just make sure you have a good resume. Title your resume. Most people don't think about that. Why would I say title your resume? Because it has to do with understanding the role that you want to be in. If I'm interested in project management, I'm going to say project management on the title, so they know the role that I'm applying for. But do we see that? No. What we see is our names, and then we see our phone numbers, and some people put their mailing address, which I'm not sure why, but you can do that if you want to. One better thing, or at least I would recommend, and what I recommend to others, is put your LinkedIn information on there. The reason you do that is because you can have a targeted resume focused on a particular job set, but then on your LinkedIn, it shows all your other skills. There's a 64% chance of you getting picked up for an interview if you have your LinkedIn connected to your resume. So it's best for you to do that and have that on there. Ensure your resume has clear, concise format. Like I said before, title them, take ownership, and convey strong and well-written bullets. Do not just throw something together and send it out, because, like I said, if someone's taking the time to read it, they'll be able to determine really fast if you spent any time, energy, and effort on it. And if you didn't, they won't. I can promise you that. Ensure your resume is clearly written for the job, right? Yeah, like I said, the job that you're applying for, make sure it's good for that. All right, job preparation, strengths and weaknesses. We talked about this a little bit before, but know what your strengths and weaknesses are. If you don't know them, talk to someone that knows you and get that. Because when you sit down in front of an interviewer, and they're asking you, hey, so what do you bring to the table? What do you think your strengths are? What do you think your weaknesses are? You can talk to that. You're like, well, these are the areas that I'm trying to improve on. This is what I'm really good at. This is what I like to focus on. And this is how I think I'm a good team player. Company, organization, and culture, understand what you're getting into before you get into it. Know what the culture is like. That way you're not surprised, and do your homework. People like it when people do their homework. Like if you're looking up and understanding the company and you're reaching out to them, and then figuring out, their mission, their vision, what they're about, how they operate, what type of positions are available, what the benefits are. If you do all that stuff before you get to the table, you'll have some leverage. But if you don't, then you're walking in the blind, right? And so someone can easily they'll be pretty impressed at the fact that you've learned enough about the company and the culture to be able to respond and throw that part of your responses. Add value. Definitely want to add value. You want to make sure that the company knows that when they bring you on the team, it's for a reason, and you're here to assist and help grow, expand, develop, or be a part of that community, that organization, that company. So, and then execute. Companies like to know that you can execute, meaning, you can kind of take advantage of an opportunity, push it forward. You have initiative, you have drive, all that. Easy way to remember this, and I know it's kind of like out of place, but it's like case. So company culture, adding value, strengths and weaknesses, and then getting into the execution, right? So there you go. LinkedIn, like I said, we just covered it. Make sure you use it. It is powerful. You can use it for a couple of things. I like finding jobs, networking, salary negotiation. If you look up New York State and Colorado jobs related to the field that you're interested in, Colorado and New York are required to list the salaries in relations to the jobs. Like they have that law that's passed. So you can get a good gauge on what you should be negotiating, depending on what that looks like. Update your profile, building your brand. You are a brand. They'll look into you. They'll look into your social media accounts. They'll look into your history of what you've done, and you want to be able to reflect something easily on LinkedIn so that they can get all the information they need about you. Because it may be the difference between you getting the job and not. So make sure you do that. Cover letter. This is just easy cover letter to kind of throw together, and we talked about before, but I just want to highlight it again. Your salutations, intros, acknowledgement, making your case, your skills, and your closing. You want to keep it as concise as possible. You want to kind of hit them, bam, 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 bam. Just put that together so that it's easy for whoever can read it to understand the added value, right? And that's why it's like, I'm excited to submit an application for this role at this company. I'm sure you receive my many applications and cover letters, so I'll keep this brief, right? Keep it short, concise. We don't need to write a thesis or essay. We just, hey, this is my skill sets. This is what I do. This is why I think I'm best for the position. And this is the reason why this role excites me, right? And this is why I want to do the opportunity or challenge. So especially in the cybersecurity community, is definitely a good way to kind of be able to convey that. You can talk about your hard skills and soft skills. Now, you don't want to list more than like 3 on each, or more than 2 on each. Just keep it short, to the point, and then, thank them for their time. And then for resumes, like I said, chronological resumes, it breaks down everything in an order, so you can actually just understand from start to finish what you do. So federal resumes are usually chronological. Functional resumes, they focus on highlighting your skills related to the job description. A combination is obviously a combination of both. And targeted resumes, which is what I focus on, is targets for a specific job. I am gunning for that job. That's the job that I want. That's what I'm going to build this resume off of, and that's what you're going to see on my LinkedIn connection. Right. More about resumes. The job market be pretty competitive. You want to make sure you have a well-rounded resume, and it represents you, right? That paper is going to determine whether you get the job, and that's only going to be in a matter of maybe seconds, maybe minutes. So you want to make sure that it reflects you as best as you possibly can and convey what you bring to the table. Make sure you get it done early. Make sure you seek multiple positions, but specific positions on seek multiple positions, but make sure that they're specific in what you're seeking, like different roles that are related to each other. That way you can kind of be able to apply for that. Attend resume workshops. There's a lot of online. You can just type in, Google it, resume workshops, Eventbrite. It'll come up. You can attend them. They're free. Learn more about it. And then ensuring that your LinkedIn URL is your name. You just want to make sure that people see that you do your due diligence and do care. Right now, if you set up a LinkedIn account, it'll give you this number. You can easily go in there and edit that where it's your name, so people know how to contact you. And then you can put that on your resume, make it look professional. Spell check everything. Do not lack any attention to detail. Just be really careful and scrutinize your resume so that you make sure that it's everything on there that needs to be on there. And do not just place the job duties you accomplish in a role. Like I said, emphasize the action, impact, results. For example, I implemented lean process improvement initiatives that contributed to a department savings of $150,000. And so clearly define what is it that you're doing, 3 to 2 bullets. Informational interviews. This is really what's going to bring everything home for you as far as talking to folks in different industries, asking them as many questions as possible. What's the day in life of? What do you like about your job? What do you don't like about your job? How did you get there? What type of certifications did you have to earn? And most people, for the most part, they want to help you. They'll tell you what they did, especially if you're in an environment where that's like that. So if you're in a hiring an event, or you're going to a cyber event, you can just type in questions and they'll lay it out, right? What is the job? And then a way to kind of help you prepare for an interview, right? Especially if you don't know, not to say you don't know, but you're trying to figure out what they need the most help with, and add value. You can say, hey, what is this job, about this job? What is it that you guys would like to accomplish within the first 12 months of someone actually being in the role? You're asking that question to your interviewers. And they'll tell you that, well, we want, someone to do this, this, and this, third, because this is what we need. Just make sure that's part of your resume, part of the rest of your interview. And so you're just pretty much just taking what they said and flipping it back and saying, oh yeah, so I'm very dedicated to doing this, and then because of some of your goals, this is what aligns me to this, and this is what I'll accomplish this and help out with that. So just lay it out, and then you can also talk about, hey, what is the biggest challenge you guys are facing, or need help trying to achieve, and then build, like I said, build your strategy off of that, and then be able to communicate that on your interview. So you'll be fine with that. Yeah, that's everything. It was pretty much a deep dive on different aspects, but like I said, a lot of good resources to utilize. Make sure you take advantage of the Microsoft when it kicks off in 6 days. Get those certs, get those badges, add those to your Creditly account, add those to your LinkedIn. Take advantage of that. Make sure you go to hiring events, touch base with folks, build a plan for you to get a job. Think about what's the end in mind, identify what roles you want to land, and then start working backwards. What do those job descriptions say? Is that in your resume? Do you have an ATS friendly resume? Is it on your LinkedIn, or is your LinkedIn good to go? Does it match what you have and what you're trying to go after? So in a sense, you just kind of want to make sure you're thorough about this process and listing that. One other thing to note, if you are looking at this and you're like, I'm still scratching my head on what I should do and how I should do it, connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn. You can connect with me. My network is your network. If I can assist you, I will. So definitely just reach out to me. Please use that, Jay Salters. And that was our cyber networking for the 6th of October.
All right, Jay, appreciate the information. Any questions for Jay at this time? If not, Jay, could you actually put the PowerPoint? Can you share the PowerPoint in the chat?
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. I believe so. Let me do that now. Sorry, I'm saying I gotta save it.
Hey, no problem. No problem. Take your time.
Yeah, I just wanted to say amazing information. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Hope you're enjoying the weather where you're at. And
Oh, yeah.
there's so much information out there. Like I said, there's a lot to cybersecurity. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit that there are definitely a lot of jobs though in that space, as you mentioned in your presentation.
Okay. It's uploading now, so everyone should have it here shortly. But take advantage of it. Like you said, there's really great programs out there. Really can make a difference in your career. And like I said, I've known a lot of people who didn't have any cyber experience, and they're good now. They do. They just make sure they're taking advantage of what's available to them, and then always use that to kind of help them get them some upward mobility in different roles.
All right, all right. Still
think that-
don't see the PowerPoint. Yeah, it's not up yet.
It's it's a pretty large file, so we're about only 25% up there. So I would assume that it'd probably take a whole minute for it to load.
Okay,
And I just
okay.
wanted to say, I think that it is important that we dedicate that time, because everything worthwhile, you have to put some effort into it. So it's not instantaneous. And we have to remember that in this 21st century, because if you're waiting more than a couple of minutes, it seems like you're what's going on, what's wrong, what's broke. But it does take a lot of time. So thanks for mentioning that.
Yes, yeah. Patience is a virtue. And like I said, just thinking about your approach for everything, especially if you, like I said, there's just so many routes. There's so many routes inside. If you want to get into coding, and that's going to take some time and patience, uh, writing scripts, writing code, making sure that you check each letter or your characters or your phrasing for coding. Getting into data science. Data science is really a really growing community, growing field. Understanding the data, the numbers, the one and zeros, the insights, it's all important. And then you have cloud computing, AI, ML, machine learning, and automation. It's yeah, there's just a lot of different great opportunities out there. If you want to get into robotics or you're doing coding, if you want to get into everything around us is pretty much created with some especially some technology with the fact of cybersecurity kind of like an afterthought. So that's why there's always going to be roles, there's always going to be opportunities, always going to be jobs, and you just have to make sure you bring everything to bear to the table so that you can show what your skill sets are and how you can help add value to a company. So we're almost, you know.
Yeah, is the coding similar to HTML or PHP coding?
Yes, it is. It's the portion of HTML, PHP. Then you have like C++, Java, Python. There's a lot of different codings. There's also programs like no code. So there's tons of resources that you can utilize. I specifically like Java more than most other coding. Python is kind of different for me because of all the variables. But yeah, there's a lot of different things. So it's uploaded. It's there. Now we have it. So yeah.
All right. I'll give everyone a chance to download it. 10 seconds or so. All right. And once again, Jay, great presentation. The next installment will be November the 3rd at 2 o'clock once again. Appreciate your time, Jay. Looking forward to the next presentation, and everyone have a phenomenal day.